My name is Dorothy Jean Harlan, 73 years young, living in the same modest ranch house on Maple Ridge Road in Lancaster, Ohio, that Harold and I bought in 1974 with his first big paycheck from the GM plant in Columbus. The house had character, wide front porch with a glider swing. Harold welded himself, a backyard big enough for a vegetable garden, and a swing set the grandkids used to love, and a basement full of memories, boxes of old photos, Harold's fishing rods, my mother's china cabinet filled with pieces we collected over 50 years of marriage. Harold passed 4 years ago from pancreatic cancer. It came fast. Diagnosis in January, gone by April. He left me the house free and clear, his pension, modest but steady, Social Security, and the one thing we both clung to as security, a $250,000 term life insurance policy he'd paid into since 1982. The policy named me beneficiary with a secondary designation to our only child, Travis Michael Harlan, now 42, divorced, father to 2 teenagers he barely saw, living in Columbus and always between jobs. Travis had been charming as a boy, curly hair like his dad, quick smile, loved helping Harold in the garage. But adulthood changed him. After the divorce, he started asking for loans more often. "Just till the next gig, Mom." I gave. $5,000 here for car repairs, $3,000 there for rent. Never asked for repayment. Family, right? The policy payout arrived 6 months after Harold's funeral. $250,000 direct deposit into the joint account I'd kept with Travis for convenience after Harold died. I planned to move most to a separate savings, invest conservatively, maybe take a small cruise like Harold and I always dreamed. But Travis got to the bank first. I found out on a Tuesday in late May. I was at the kitchen table balancing the checkbook, the old-fashioned way. Pen, calculator, coffee. When the bank app pinged. Large withdrawal alert. $248,700 transferred to an account I didn't recognize. Remaining balance, $1,300. I called the bank. The manager, kind but firm, said, "Mrs. Harlan, your son came in with a notarized letter and power of attorney. He said you were incapacitated after the funeral stress and authorized him to handle the funds for your care." Power of attorney. I'd signed 1 year ago when Harold was sick. "Just in case," Travis said. I never revoked it. I called Travis, nowed right to voicemail. Texted, "Where's the insurance money? Call me now." His reply came an hour later, a photo of him in a tuxedo, arm around a woman in a white dress, palm trees behind them. "Mom, surprise wedding in Aruba. Used the money for the destination wedding of our dreams, plus honeymoon. You'll be fine on the pension. I'll pay back when my new business takes off. Love you." Wedding? He hadn't mentioned a girlfriend, let alone a fiancé. And $250,000 gone for a beach ceremony and 5-star resort. I sat there for hours, staring at the photo. The kitchen clock ticked louder than usual. I remembered Harold's voice the day he signed the policy. "This is for you, Dot. If I go first, you'll be okay. Promise me you won't let anyone touch it." I'd promised. That night I didn't sleep. I walked the house in my slippers, touching things. The china cabinet with Mom's Royal Doulton figurines, the antique roll-top desk Harold restored, the wall of family photos, Travis's high school graduation, his wedding to his ex, the grandkids as babies. Travis had always eyed the figurines. "Those'll be worth a fortune someday, Mom. Mine someday, right?" He'd laugh, but his eyes were serious. The cold clarity hit me. Not rage yet, but resolve. He hadn't just taken money. He'd taken Harold's last gift, my security, my future. By morning, I'd decided, no police yet. Forgery and elder financial abuse charges could take years, no begging. I'd reclaim what was mine, starting with the things he'd always assumed were his. I opened my laptop and searched Antique Appraisers, Lancaster, Ohio. First hit, Harlan estate buyers. No relation, just coincidence. A man named Victor answered. "I have family heirlooms," I said. "Figurines, desk jewelry. House call possible?" He was there by noon. Victor was 60, gentle eyes behind wire rims, white gloves in his pocket. We sat in the living room over coffee. I showed him the Royal Doulton figurines, 20 pieces, ballerinas and ladies in ball gowns, pristine in the cabinet. "These are collector grade," he said. "Mid-20th century, limited editions. Full set like this. $9,800 to $12,000 retail. I can offer $8,200 cash today." Next, the roll-top desk. Oak pigeonholes, secret drawer, Harold's pride. Restored beautifully. Circa 1910. $6,500. Then the jewelry box. My mother's pearl necklace, Harold's gold pocket watch, my engagement ring reset after the original diamond chipped. Strong pieces, $7,400. Total offer, $22,100 cash. I took it. He counted the bills on the kitchen table, crisp hundreds. I signed papers. He loaded carefully. As he left, "Mrs. Harlan, this feels heavy. You okay?" I smiled thinly. Getting there. Alone, I deposited $20,000 in a new account. My name only, online only, no joint access. The rest stayed for immediate needs. That evening I went grocery shopping. Not the discount store, but the upscale market in Columbus. Fresh filet mignon, wild salmon, aged parmesan, heirloom tomatoes, a bottle of Cabernet I'd never bought before. Peaches, out of season, expensive, dark chocolate truffles. Back home, I set the table with the good plates, the ones Travis always said were his someday. Lit a candle, ate slowly. The steak melted, wine warmed me. For the first time in years, food tasted like freedom. Travis texted, "Mom, Aruba is paradise. Honeymoon sweet equals insane. Thanks for the wedding gift, Lowell. Miss you." Photo. Him and his new wife on a beach, sunset behind. I didn't reply. I opened the jewelry box, empty now except a few cheap earrings. I closed it gently. The desk was gone, bare spot on the carpet, the figurines, empty shelves. I whispered to the quiet house, "Harold, forgive me, but I'm keeping my promise." The ice inside me turned to steel. The morning after Victor left with the Royal Doulton figurines and the roll-top desk, the house felt different. Not emptier in a sad way, lighter. The china cabinet shelves stood bare where the ballerinas once posed, their delicate porcelain faces gone. The living room corner where the desk had sat for 40 years was now just carpet and a faint rectangle of darker shade from years of blocking the sun. I stood in the doorway for a long minute, coffee mug in hand, letting the silence settle. No ticking clock to remind me of time stolen, no figurines to dust, for Travis someday. The spaces were mine to fill, or leave empty. I drove to the bank first thing, same branch on Main Street, where Harold and I opened our first joint account in 1975. The teller, a young man named Jamal, who remembered Harold from the plant days, helped me open the new savings account. "Separate from the joint one?" he asked gently. "Yes," I said. "Just mine. No joint access. Ever." He set it up. Online only. 2-factor authentication. High-yield interest. I deposited $20,000 cash from Victor's payment. The remaining $2,100 stayed in my purse for immediate use. No more convenience accounts. No more trusting blindly. Back home, I sat at the kitchen table. Same oak table where Travis used to do homework, where Harold carved the Thanksgiving turkey, and opened my laptop. Searched antique jewelry appraisers, Columbus, Ohio. Found a specialist, Eleanor Grant, retired from the Ohio Historical Society, now private appraisals. Her website was simple. Photos of estate pieces, testimonials from families. I emailed her photos of the remaining jewelry. My mother's sapphire brooch, 1920s, $4,200 appraised online. Harold's gold cufflinks from our wedding, a vintage pearl strand, and a small diamond tennis bracelet I'd worn only to church. She replied within the hour. "These are lovely. I'd like to see them in person. House call tomorrow?" She arrived at 11 a.m., silver hair in a neat chignon, tweed jacket, loop around her neck, white gloves. We sat in the living room over tea, the good china cups, the last ones left. She examined each piece carefully, turning, weighing, checking hallmarks. The sapphire brooch is exceptional. Art Deco, excellent clarity. $4,800 retail. Cufflinks, 14-karat gold, monogrammed, $1,200. Pearls, natural graduated, $3,100. Bracelet, good stones, $2,900. Total cash offer, $10,500 today. I nodded slowly. $10,500. Another chunk of the $250,000 Travis had taken, returned in metal and stone. I accepted. She counted the cash, crisp bills in stacks. I signed receipts. She packed the pieces in padded cases like they were fragile hearts. As she left, "Mrs. Harlan, this feels like more than downsizing. If you need help, legal, anything, call me. I know people." I smiled. I'm starting to know them too. Alone again, I didn't mourn the empty jewelry box. I went shopping. Real shopping. The market in Columbus. Thick-cut ribeye steaks, fresh wild salmon, aged Gouda, heirloom tomatoes bursting with summer, a pint of blackberries, crusty sourdough, a bottle of Cabernet Sauvignon from Napa, something Harold and I used to look at in catalogs but never bought. Dark chocolate with sea salt. Peaches. Imported. Velvety. Expensive. Checkout total. $168.42. A year ago, I would have put half back. Today, I swiped the new debit card without hesitation. Home, I unpacked slowly. The fridge light glowed. Empty shelves filled with color and life. Salmon on the bottom shelf. Berries in glass bowls. Cheese in the crisper. I stood back and looked. My fridge had never looked like this. Not even at Christmas. That evening I cooked. Pan-seared ribeye with garlic butter, roasted asparagus, a simple salad with balsamic I'd bought years ago and never opened, warm bread dipped in olive oil. I set the table properly, cloth napkin, wine glass, candle flickering. Ate slowly, savoring every bite. The steak was tender, wine rich and deep, no TV. Just the sound of crickets through the open window and my own breathing. Halfway through, my phone buzzed. Travis. Video call from Aruba. I almost didn't answer. But I did. His face filled the screen. Tanned, grinning, background of a resort pool. His new wife laughing behind him. "Mom, hey, honeymoon is insane. Private cabana, unlimited drinks. Thanks again for the wedding gift, Lowell. How's everything back home?" I took a slow bite of steak, chewed deliberately. "Quiet. Good." He squinted. "You're eating steak? Like real steak? Where'd you get the money for that?" I sipped Cabernet. "Sold some things, remember?" His smile faltered. Yeah, about that. Mom, you can't just sell Grandma's figurines and Dad's desk. Those were family heirlooms. They were supposed to be mine someday. They were mine, I corrected gently. And someday isn't today. You took my today. $250,000 for a wedding and honeymoon. I replaced it. He laughed, forced, uncomfortable. Okay, dramatic. It was a one-time thing. Once-in-a-lifetime wedding. You always taught me to make memories. I taught you responsibility, too. His wife leaned in, blonde, smiling, designer sunglasses on her head. Hi, Mrs. Harlan. Travis talks about you all the time. Thanks for helping make our day special. I nodded politely. Enjoy it. Travis's tone shifted, irritated now. Look, Mom, I get you're upset, but selling everything? That's extreme. Those figurines were worth way more than you got. You got ripped off. I got fair offers, I said. Cash, immediate, no regrets. He rubbed his face. Just stop selling stuff. Wait till I'm back. We'll figure out a payment plan. My new business is launching soon. Crypto consulting. Big money coming. I looked at the empty china cabinet in the background of my view. I don't need a plan. I've handled it. Silence stretched. Then, you're different. Cold. I'm not cold, I said softly. I'm awake. He ended the call abruptly. I finished dinner in peace, washed the dishes by hand. Slow, meditative. Went to bed early, full and calm. The next week brought more. I sold Harold's vintage fishing rod collection. Bamboo rods he restored himself, $4,800. And a set of antique woodworking tools from the basement, $3,200. A local collector paid cash. The basement felt emptier, but my account grew to $38,000. I opened a brokerage account, simple index funds, low fees. Talked to a fiduciary advisor on the phone, free consultation. You're in a strong position, Mrs. Harlan, she said. This can grow steadily for years. For the first time, steadily sounded like possibility, not survival. Travis called on day 12, voice crackling over international roaming. Mom! Hey! We're back in the States. Honeymoon over. Aruba was epic. How are you holding up? You sound different. I was on the porch swing, glass of wine in hand, watching fireflies blink in the yard. I'm good, Travis. Quiet, but good. He laughed, nervous. Quiet? You're probably missing me. Boil some ramen or something. I'll bring you souvenirs. Aruba rum. Promise. I smiled into the dark. I'm finding better things to drink. Another pause. What does that mean? Resources, I said calmly. Ones you didn't know about. He chuckled, but it was forced. Resources? Like what? Changing the couch cushions? Come on, Mom. Don't be dramatic. It's just money. I'll Venmo you when my business pays out. I took a slow sip. No need. I've handled it. Silence. Then, what do you mean, handled it? I looked at the empty spots in the living room through the window. I sold some things. The figurines, the desk, the jewelry, the rods, fair prices. Proceeds replaced what you took, and more. His voice sharpened. You sold Dad's stuff. Mom, those were heirlooms. Grandpa's tools. Grandma's china. Those were supposed to be mine. They were mine, I corrected. And you assumed. Big difference. He sputtered. This is insane. You're overreacting. It was a wedding, once in a lifetime. You couldn't even spot me that? I spotted you plenty, I said. You spent Harold's last gift. He hung up, angry. I finished the wine, watching the stars come out over Lancaster. The house was quieter without the figurines, but my heart beat steady. The weeks after selling the figurines, desk, and jewelry passed in a rhythm I hadn't known in decades. My rhythm. Morning started slow. Coffee on the porch glider, watching the sun rise over the cornfields across Maple Ridge Road. No alarm clock. No rush to make breakfast for Travis when he lived here. Just me, the creak of the swing, and the distant hum of a tractor starting its day. The house continued to lighten. Victor came twice more, first for Harold's vintage fishing rods and a small collection of antique lures, $4,800 cash. Then for the woodworking tools from the basement, $3,200. Each visit felt like shedding weight. The basement was emptier. No more shelves of rods waiting for someday fishing trips with Travis. The garage felt open, the air fresher. My new account balance climbed to $52,000. Interest ticking up daily, plus the small withdrawals for groceries and a few comforts I'd denied myself for years. I started small luxuries that felt like rebellion. A new recliner for the living room, soft leather, electric lift, for when my knees ached, delivered and set up by two young men who called me ma'am and thanked me for the tip. A weekly manicure at the little salon in town, soft pink polish, no more chipped nails from scrubbing pots, fresh flowers from the market every Saturday, peonies when in season, lilies otherwise, always on the kitchen table where they caught the light, and the food. God, the food became my daily ritual. No more boiling ramen or stretching ground beef. I shopped at the upscale market in Columbus twice a week. Reusable bags in hand, no coupons. Thick filet mignon, wild-caught salmon fillets glistening pink, aged cheddar from a local dairy, heirloom tomatoes bursting with summer juice, fresh basil still damp from rinsing, a crusty sourdough boule, dark chocolate truffles dusted with cocoa, and wine. Good wine. Cabernet from Napa, Pinot Noir from Oregon, even a chilled Chardonnay for warm evenings. One Thursday night I cooked a feast for one. Seared filet with garlic herb butter, roasted asparagus spears crisp and green, a caprese salad with mozzarella and balsamic glaze, warm bread dipped in olive oil. I set the table properly. Cloth napkin folded into a fan, wine glass polished, candle flickering. Ate slowly on the porch, the swing creaking softly, fireflies blinking in the yard. Every bite was deliberate, luxurious, mine. Halfway through the meal, my phone buzzed. Travis, video call. I let it ring twice, then answered. His face appeared. Tanned darker, hair longer, background of a modern apartment living room. He looked thinner, eyes shadowed. Mom! Hey! We're back in Columbus, settled in the new place. Honeymoon was unreal. How are you? You look good. I took a slow sip of Cabernet. I'm fine, Travis. Quiet. He squinted at the screen. You're eating outside? Steak? Mom, where'd you get money for all that? The insurance was sold, I said calmly. More things. Fair prices. His smile faded. Mom, you can't keep doing this. Those rods were Dad's. The tools. Grandpa's. You're stripping the house. What about the grandkids? They'll want that stuff someday. I set the glass down. They can visit and see me, not things. He rubbed his face. Look, I know you're mad, but the wedding was once in a lifetime. The money was just sitting there. I figured you'd understand. Family first. Family first would have been telling me, I said. Asking, not forging documents, not draining Harold's last gift. Silence. His wife appeared behind him, smiling nervously. Hi, Mrs. Harlan. We're really grateful. I cut her off gently. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Travis's tone sharpened. Mom, stop selling. The crypto business is launching next month. I'll pay back. $50,000 down payment. Rest in installments. Just Hold what's left. For the family. I looked at the empty china cabinet visible behind me in the porch light. I've held long enough. The family you mean is the one you started without inviting me to the wedding. He exhaled hard. That was complicated. We wanted it small, intimate. You had a destination wedding, not small. He leaned closer to the camera. You're being selfish. After everything Dad left. After I took care of things. You took, I corrected, not cared. He hung up, abruptly. I finished dinner in peace. The steak was perfect. The wine warm. The fireflies danced. The next morning I called Ellen Whitaker, elder law attorney in Columbus, recommended by Victor. She took my call immediately. Mrs. Harlan, tell me everything. I did. The policy, the forgery, the wedding photo, the sales. She listened without interruption. This is elder financial abuse, she said. Forgery on the POA letter, unauthorized transfer. We can file for restitution, possible criminal charges. But first, revoke the POA, freeze accounts, get a forensic accountant on the trail. You have proof? Bank statements, his texts, photos. Good. I'll file today. You'll need to come in for signatures. And Dorothy, you're strong. Most don't fight back. I'm tired of not fighting. We set an appointment. I drove to Columbus the next day. First time alone in months. Ellen's office was small, warm. Photos of her grandkids on the desk. She reviewed everything, drafted the petition. Revoke, POA, demand accounting of funds, seek restitution plus damages. You'll win, she said. The evidence is clear. He'll have to repay, likely with interest and fees. I signed. Felt the weight shift. Not gone, but lighter. Travis texted that night. Long message. Mom, lawyer called. This is insane. You're suing me? Your own son? Over money Dad left for the family? I used it for a wedding. Happy memories. You're turning this into a war. Call me. Let's fix this without courts. I replied once. The courts will fix what you broke. Talk to my lawyer. Blocked his number for the night. The sales continued. Victor sold the last small items. A vintage camera collection Harold loved. $2,900. My mother's antique sewing box. $1,800. Account hit $62,000. I treated myself to a spa day. First ever. Massage, facial, manicure. Sat in a quiet room with cucumber water, soft music. Felt my shoulders drop. Back home, I cooked again. Salmon with lemon dill sauce, roasted potatoes, green beans. Ate on the porch. Watched the sunset paint the sky orange over the fields. Travis unblocked. Called from a new number. I answered. Mom, please. I'm sorry. I was desperate. The wedding, the new start. I thought you'd want me happy. I wanted you honest, I said. I'll pay back. Promise. Just drop the suit. No. He cried. Real sobs. You're destroying our family. You did that, I said softly. When you forged the letter. When you spent Harold's gift without a word. Silence. Then, I hate this. I know, I said. But I'm done paying for your mistakes. I hung up. The house was quiet. No figurines. No desk. No rods. But it was mine. And I was awake. The hearing date arrived on a crisp October morning, 2 weeks after Ellen filed the petition. Lancaster County Courthouse was the same red brick building where Harold and I had gotten our marriage license in 1973. I walked up the steps slowly, walker steady, wearing the navy dress I'd saved for special occasions. The one Travis once said made me look like a grandma from a Hallmark movie. Ellen met me at the door, calm, professional, briefcase in hand. You ready? She asked. I nodded. I've waited long enough. The courtroom was small, wood-paneled, high ceilings, the faint smell of old paper and polish. The judge was a woman in her late 50s, Judge Margaret Ellis. Reputation for being fair, but no nonsense with elder cases. Travis sat on the other side with his lawyer, a young man in a cheap suit who kept checking his phone. Travis looked thinner, eyes shadowed, suit rumpled like he hadn't slept. His new wife wasn't there. Judge Ellis called the case. In revocation of power of attorney, Harlan versus Harlan. Ellen presented first, clear, methodical. Bank statements showing the $250,000 transfer. Travis's texts admitting the wedding use, photos from Aruba. The forged, incapacitated letter with a notary stamp Ellen proved was backdated. Victor's contact had traced it. Affidavits from the bank manager confirming Travis's visit alone. My medical records. No incapacity after Harold's funeral. Your Honor, Ellen said, this is clear elder financial abuse. Forgery, unauthorized transfer, misuse of funds meant for the petitioner's security. We request revocation of the POA, full restitution with interest, and punitive damages. Travis's lawyer stood, nervous. Your Honor, my client acted in good faith. The funds were used for a family event. Mrs. Harlan was grieving, perhaps not fully competent. Judge Ellis cut him off. Evidence of incompetence? The lawyer faltered. The stress. Stress isn't incapacity, she said. Call your client. Travis took the stand, sworn in, voice low. Mr. Harlan, Ellen began, did you transfer $250,000 from your mother's account to your own? Yes, but she agreed. Did she sign anything authorizing it? No. But the POA... Did you present a letter claiming she was incapacitated? Travis shifted. I thought she was. After Dad died. Did a doctor diagnose incapacity? No. Did you consult your mother before the transfer? A silence. No. Did you use the funds for your wedding and honeymoon? Yes. Did you invite your mother? No. It was small. Ellen held up the Aruba photo. This looks like a large destination wedding. Did you tell her the money came from her husband's life insurance? Travis looked down. No. Why not? I didn't want to upset her. Ellen paused. Or because you knew she'd say no? Travis didn't answer. Judge Ellis leaned forward. Mr. Harlan, your father purchased this policy for your mother's security. You forged documents, transferred funds without consent, and spent it on personal luxury. Do you have anything to say? Travis's voice cracked. I'm sorry. I was desperate. The wedding... new start. I thought she'd forgive me. The judge's face remained neutral. Forgiveness isn't the court's role. Repayment is. She ruled quickly. POA revoked permanently. Full restitution. $250,000 plus 8% interest from date of transfer. $18,000 plus. Punitive damages. $50,000 for fraud and emotional distress. Attorney fees, covered by Travis. Criminal referral to prosecutor for forgery. Travis stared, face pale. His lawyer whispered urgently. Travis stood. Mom, please, don't do this. I can't pay that. I'll lose everything. I met his eyes, steady. You took everything from me. Now you pay. He broke. Tears, shoulders shaking. I hate you for this. The words landed, but they didn't break me. I know, I said quietly, but I love myself enough to stop letting you. Judge Ellis adjourned. Ellen squeezed my hand. You won, Dorothy. Outside the courthouse, Travis approached, alone. Mom, can we talk? Just us? I nodded. We sat on a bench under an oak tree. I'm sorry, he said, raw, broken. I was selfish, greedy. I thought the money was family money. I didn't think about you, about Dad's promise. I listened. I'll pay, he continued. It'll take years, selling the car, the apartment. But I'll pay. And I want to fix this, if you'll let me. I looked at him, the boy who used to fish with Harold, now a man facing consequences. I accept the sorry, I said. But payment first, actions. No more excuses. You visit when I invite. You respect boundaries. And you tell your kids the truth. Why Grandma doesn't have the money Dad left. He nodded, tears falling. I will. He left. No hug. Just a quiet, thank you for not pressing charges. I watched him walk away, shoulders slumped. Ellen drove me home. The house welcomed me. Lighter, quieter, mine. That night I cooked a feast. Ribeye, roasted vegetables, fresh bread, the last bottle of Cabernet. Ate on the porch, stars bright over Lancaster. I raised my glass to the dark. To Harold, I whispered. To promises kept. The night answered soft. Crickets, wind in the trees. Freedom tasted like steak. And peace. The court order arrived by certified mail 2 weeks after the hearing. Thick envelope, official seal, Judge Ellis's signature crisp on every page. Full restitution, $250,000 principal, plus $18,400 interest, $50,000 punitive damages, attorney fees, covered. Travis had 90 days to pay or face liens, wage garnishment, asset seizure. Ellen called the same day. It's done, Dorothy. He can appeal, but he won't win. The evidence was overwhelming. I sat at the kitchen table, same table where Travis used to eat cereal as a boy, and read every line twice. The house felt different after that, not lighter anymore, settled. The empty shelves and bare corners weren't wounds. They were space. Space for new things. Space for me. Travis paid in installments, first $50,000 wired within 30 days. He sold the sports car he'd bought with part of the insurance money. Then $30,000 a month after that. No excuses, no begging, just automatic transfers and a short text each time. Payment sent. T. I acknowledged once. Received. No more. He didn't call for 3 months. When he did, it was quiet. Voice low. No bravado. Mom, I'm selling the apartment, moving to a smaller place. The payments are taking everything. I'm working 2 jobs now. Design by day, delivery at night. I get it. What I did, it was wrong. I'm not asking forgiveness. Just, can I see you? Not for money. Just to talk. I let him wait a week. Then, come Sunday, 2 p.m. alone. He arrived early, alone, in an old pickup truck, the sports car gone, carrying a small potted rose bush, pink like the ones I used to grow. He looked older, lines around his eyes, hair grayer at the temples. I opened the door. No hug, just, come in. We sat on the porch glider, Harold's swing still creaking the same way. The rose bush sat between us on the small table. I planted these for you, he said. Thought maybe the backyard could use them. I touched a petal. Maybe. Silence stretched, comfortable, not tense. Then he spoke, voice rough. I'm sorry, Mom. Not just the money. For everything. For thinking your life was background to mine. For the wedding without you. For the texts. For making you feel like an ATM instead of my mother. I listened. I'm in therapy, he continued. Court mandated at first, but I kept going. I'm learning. Why I did it. Greed, fear. Thinking happiness was big things. Weddings, cars, trips. Not people, not promises. He looked at the empty yard. Dad would be ashamed. He'd be disappointed, I said softly. But he'd want you to grow. Travis nodded, tears in his eyes. The grandkids. They ask about you. I told them the truth, age-appropriate, that I made a big mistake with money Grandpa left for you, that Grandma needed space. They want to visit, if you'll let them. I exhaled. They can come. With you. When I invite. No surprises. He smiled. Small. Grateful. Thank you. He left after an hour. No long goodbye. Just a quiet, I'll call next week. And he did. Every Sunday after that. Short calls, updates on work, therapy, the kids. No asks. No demands. Just presents. The grandkids visited for Thanksgiving. Travis drove them down. They were teenagers now. Awkward. Phones in pockets. But they hugged me tight. We cooked together. Turkey, mashed potatoes, green bean casserole from my mother's recipe. They asked about Harold. I told stories. The fishing trips. The way he'd carved the turkey. The swing he built. They listened. No distractions. After dinner, they planted the rose bush in the backyard. Together, laughing when dirt got on their hands. Travis watched from the porch. Quiet, eyes shiny. Rebecca, Travis's ex-wife, sent a card. Thank you for letting them see you. They talk about Grandma's stories all the time, I replied. They're welcome any time. Winter came soft. Snow on the porch, lights on the glider. I decorated simply. Small tree in the living room, candles in the windows. Travis and the kids came Christmas Eve. Brought gifts, books, a bird feeder, a framed photo of Harold and me on the swing. We opened them together. No big presents, just time. Spring returned. The rose bush bloomed, pink against the green, a small miracle in the yard. I sat on the glider most evenings, tea in hand, watching the sunset paint the fields gold. Travis called one evening in May. Mom, I paid the last installment today. It's done. All of it. Principal, interest, damages. I'm debt-free because of what I owe you. But more than that, I'm trying to be debt-free in other ways. No more shortcuts. No more excuses. I smiled into the phone. I'm proud of you. Silence. Warm. Then, can we come for dinner Sunday? The kids want to plant more roses. Bring the tools, I said, and tell them Grandma's making apple pie. He laughed. Real. Light. We'll be there. I hung up, walked to the backyard. The rose bush stood tall, buds opening to the sun. I whispered to the breeze. Harold. Look at us. Promises kept. New ones starting. The wind answered soft through the leaves, gentle like his hand on mine. Freedom isn't revenge. It's a swing that still creaks, a garden that blooms, a family that learns, and a woman who finally chooses herself every day. The check was paid, the heart was healing, and the porch light stayed on.